Hi guys, hello mirror meets everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene. Today we're going to work on cleaning up the MLX-20l phone for a phone system. When I bought this used many years ago, it didn't have a stand, so I made one out of bolts. So it's definitely a hatchet job. And it's got problems that we're gonna fix today. Or at least gonna try to anyway. But I wonder if we need to clean these keys on the upper assembly as well. Because, well, I never got that part apart. Okay, so let's get this let's commence this bad boy and see if we can get this working. So we'll start with the basics. We have to get it apart. And the I'll try to put camera so you can see what I'm doing. And the first thing is the original RG45 clip broke. So I just used a wood screw to hold it in place, the cord. So I'm gonna take the wood screw out. Okay. And cord's still good, so we'll keep that. We need for testing anyway. Now, you might be wondering, is this using, because this is an ISDN phone, if this is using only 6 or 8 pins in the connector, and I'm seeing 8. Okay. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to get this part off here. Now, a Merlin underneath here would be a accessory over here for analog devices, like a phone system. Board, there's a jack for that, a punch out right here. And I got the board that goes in here. I just don't have the ribbon cable that connects to it. I got that from somebody else. So we're gonna try to get this thing apart and try to fix it. This is not easy to get apart. Let's see if we can get this. I don't know if I have to take this off. I'm gonna take it off anyway. Yeah. So this is where you would put the adjunct underneath for the system module. Now, next thing to do is I gotta get these screws out. I don't need a handset. I can take that off. I don't need that on there right now. That's just an additional pain to work with. Okay. Now, what it is that these phones have a Merlin, via Lucent, AT&T, whichever company you want to go by. Basically made these phones to be expendable. These things are normally not meant to be fixed. They're just meant to be used. When they break, just replace them. Because most companies can afford to buy new ones. But I'm not a company, I'm an individual, so buying new phones isn't exactly my forte. So we're gonna try to fix this. Okay, so take these screws out, and there's another screw here. And actually, there's 2 more. And we have to be careful because there is some small parts in here. I've taken this phone apart before, so I know what's in here. Okay. Okay. And yeah, there's one more screw. And unfortunately, when I take this cover off, the screws are going to come off with it. So let me see if I can get these out without losing the screws. Okay, the bottom comes off. Excellent. Now, and here, doesn't look too dirty. You have a series of parts inside the phone that we have to work with. And you gotta be careful because there's a lot of parts in here that can go bad. This is the ribbon cables. Okay, now unplug this. Unplug this. This is, unfortunately, is where unplug the PC boards. All this just to get bug crud out. Let's see. Does this look like it snaps in place? Yeah. Got a latch. It's got a latch. Okay, well, I don't think we have to take this part apart. Okay. So here we have the base, and this is the business end here. If I fix it, great. If not, okay. So you'll see here that you got these little foam pads, and I'm not seeing any significant bug crud on this. Not saying there isn't any, because there is some. So what I'm going to do is, let me, this is the part of the screen assembly that I wonder if you can get that part out. Oh, by the way, let's talk about this part of the PC board here. This is the hook switch, and this uses, you can see how it uses goes on here. It uses a proximity sensor. Unlike the old Merlin II system, this doesn't use okay, this is the switch, this is the sensor. Okay. So you can see what goes on there. See if it goes on. Goes on the center post. We're missing this. Oh wow! You know what it's doing? It's using infrared blocking sensor. Oh, interesting. See, so in other words, this, when this is up, it breaks late. When the switch is hangs up, it breaks late. The light flashes, so the sensor's on. Okay. Okay. So now we know that. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, I got it. You kidding me? All right. So this here is the PC board, the electronics, the phone handset, the connector. That's the microphone, by the way, for those of you who want to know where the microphone is for these phones. It's right over here. There's a little microphone. These are the key switches. I don't want to take all those off. Trust me. You could, but you don't want to. Alright. So this has got a condenser microphone. And that goes to okay. Okay. There's a microphone on the sensor in the front here. So let's try not to lose the screws, okay? Well, yeah, I would hope. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is let's talk about how this board is made. There is some bug crud. So you can see here that this is a Mylar sheet. And these Mylar sheet has little traces here, which line up with the buttons. They don't look too bad. What I'm going to do is let me go grab some isopropanol and clean that. But that's not the only thing I'm going to be fixing, because I wonder if that's the only other problem with it. Don't really see too much bug crud. I do see some, but I see less damages here with the carbon traces. This is what I'm afraid of. This here, you can see that these look like the carbon is kind of rubbed down. And so I don't know if this is going to be fixable. Because, I mean, they look like they have been, the looks kind of worn down a bit. But what we'll try to do, and also you see there's another trace over here as well. So I'm going to have to clean this off. So let me go get some Q-tips and some isopropanol. I'll have to do it over here on this table because there's just no room on that table. So let me pause this and then we'll clean this up and try to put this back together. And it should be fairly simple, but you know how it is. Yeah, so let's just see if we can clean this up and get it working. Okay, the deed is done. I used a cotton ball with 95% isopropanol to clean the board off. And this is a very interesting piece of work. It's got surface mount components on it, but it's actually it's not really that dirty. It really didn't pick up much on the cotton ball. I wouldn't say it was like pristine by any extent of imagination, but it didn't really have a lot. So it looks to me like, unless these keypads here have developed issues, and these tracking don't look like you see anything tracking there. It looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting this back together and see if this works. So what I do is I'm going to lay, this is a registration rack. Okay, that's a registration rack. So now I'm going to lay this down here. And the hook switch goes on here. So at this point, it should pretty much work, unless the problem is in this other keyboard assembly up here, which can be taken apart, but it's kind of a bit of a pain. I really don't want to do that one, but if I have to, I'll do it, but it's not my first choice. This is not normally used as a regular house phone. It is an office phone. It's a full office phone. But what I mean is, we use this to control our phone system. Okay, we use it to program the system features. And so this has got these little ribbon cables. I never really liked these cables that much. You see, Merlin via AT&T in their early years used to use a different design in these connectors. They were even worse than this. This is just gonna line this up. Okay. Now I'm gonna plug in the cable. Oh, I still got the condenser microphone, which I'm not sure where that goes. Okay. And then we have this backup plate. When you realize what the backup plate is for, it's really important, because this is what holds the phone together. And okay, there's the microphone holder. Okay. I think you skipped a step. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, I'll unplug this cord again. Be careful when unplugging these, because these can rip. If you ever worked with some of the early computers like the Timex Sinclair 1000, you and I know what I mean when I say rip. Those cables on the Timex Sinclair 1000 were known to be absolutely disasters. They did rip apart, as the plastic would become brittle and difficult to fix, and so, okay, so I got this done. I'm gonna put this, okay, so this goes on to, then this goes on off the top part, and then this goes so what they did differently with this is they used infrared instead of using a Hall effect sensor. Whereas my old Merlin II one used Hall effect sensor. This uses infrared. Okay, so Okay. And then this cable, this has got plugs into a SIP, single inline row socket. Okay. Now the microphone goes in here. Then the module, the phone jack plug goes in to this spot right over here. Okay. Why do I think that seems so strongly wrong? Let me see something from here. This sort of that's base 2. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. It was in an angle. Alright, that makes sense. So see, it looks like it's an angle. Theoretically, it's only going to go in one way. There you go. Told you, it only goes one way. What about the phone piece I took out? What about this? Well, it's useful for noise dampening, which is what it was for but we have to make sure that it has not deteriorated too badly. And it looks pretty good, so we're going to put it back in. Okay, but we still got to connect this connector back in, so. Okay, so I'm going to put this foam back in. Microphone is back in the hole. Now we're going to start assembling the phone. Make sure it gets the right way. I got this phone second hand, and it's okay. That fits good. Let me just make sure everything is present for it and connected to it. It is good. Just drop the screw. How many other screws you drop? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that's something else. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna just take all these screws out since... Oh, I don't have to. Just try not to lose any of them. Okay. It's in. So these phones have another board module add-on you can buy that I have in the other room. The problem is I don't have the flexible cable to connect it for an adjunct. And given the fact is that I don't have the original base on it, putting the board on it would be a bit of a problem. Okay, this is gonna be a bit of a problem. So let's try to get as many screws back in as we can. Show you the other screws. Got two in there, one in there. These are holding the membrane together. And make sure when you test these systems, please make sure you remember, if you have other systems like I do, like the MLX phones and the AT&T phones, which is the older Merlin phones in the same system, make sure do not plug them into the wrong holes. Okay, now this is gonna go. That screws in there, that screws in there, that screws in there. I don't know if there's a screw there or not. Looks like there could be. I definitely know I gotta put a screw up here, so. So why did AT&T use flatheads, despite the fact that they already had Phillips? Well, I think Tevye from Fiddler on the Roof said it perfectly. Tradition! Yeah, that's probably what it is. Kind of crazy, no? Let's see. Let's get this going in here. This is where I wish I had, there you go. Because I need a little help. Sometimes I need a little help from my friends. Okay, so now we're getting there. Okay, so now I think I have one more screw. It goes in there. Yes, I do. Right here. Okay. Now, I don't need to put the final base in the bottom for testing it, because I just gotta plug it in. Okay. So this is it. Now, if okay, so now it's back together good enough for testing purposes. So what I'm going to do is take the phone cord. I don't necessarily need the handset, but I might as well plug it in because I got to test it anyway, right? Okay, so that's the handset. And then I'm going to, I can snap this base back on it now, but I need to do is plug in the phone cord. So remember the Phillips screw. Well, we still need that. So we're going to put this in here because you're probably asking yourself, Michele, geez Louise, why don't you just go ahead and recrump this wire with a new connector? Yeah, I could do that. This is a pain in the ass, though. Alright, so let me show you my desk already has one already made. It's just, but for right now, I'm just trying to get this thing working so I can test it. Get on, real bit of triage. Okay, so now I'm gonna go plug this into my MLX board on my phone system and make sure it works. So let me pause this again and then we'll go back, let you know if it works. Okay, it's all set. I tested it. It works. It does what it's supposed to do. The buttons are operating correctly. The thing is operational. So now it's just time to put the base back on. And so this hooks into this hole here. And as I pointed out, I do have the board, the external phone mounted board that goes in here. Okay, but I don't have the ribbon cable that connects it to the system. That's the only thing it doesn't have. Okay, and I'm just gonna put the screw back in like I had it. Unfortunately, to show you how to use this, I need to make a longer cord because the cord's too short. Okay, so let me just quickly clean this up real quick here at the same time. So what this does is, this is the system programming system, and it's a regular phone too. It's an operator's console. This says 20 line capacity. You can see why it calls it 20 because this refers to the number of slots. You got 5, 5, 5, and then you can have shifted rows of buttons as well, so you can have more than just 5. Now, this is still kind of clean. I'm going to clean this real quick here. As I say, I don't usually use this much except for programming. I sometimes do use it as a phone in the bedroom where it was used originally, but I kind of like the old ATL 34 buttons because they're a little easier to get parts for it. But this is what the Merlin Legend Release 7 uses, so it uses the MLX board. So if you give me a few minutes, I am gonna make a big honking long cord just so you can see how it works. So let me just show you that. Right now it is assembled. It is, I wouldn't call it pretty. The angle iron brackets in the back is likely to cause you to scratch your desk. And the original platform had another module that would go in here. I don't know why Lucent designed it this way, where you have phones with layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff, but they did, and this is just an example of one of those phones. Just a lot of buttons. And so what I'm going to do is let me go ahead and make a longer cable connected to the switch, and then I'll show you how it works. This should be interesting. Okay, we are back. And first of all, on the back of the phone, there is your brightness contrast control, which you can hear mine is a little noisy. Well, I'll try to keep it so you can see it here. And you can see it shows you different functions. Now it's got the time and date on it. The date, the year, the month is right, but the date is the 28th. Yeah, that's actually the time. 3:50. Okay, well, the time's a little off because I don't think I forgot to adjust it for daylight savings time. But anyway, we're going to show you what you do with this first configuration. I'm going to try to show it to you on the screen as best I can, but because of my eyesight, I'm going to have to get close. So what you do is you're going to go to the home button, you're going to go to menu, and you're going to go to the one that's labeled Sys Programming. That's this button right here, and you can go see it's exit programming. You want to do extension programming, so you're gonna go to system programming. And I'm gonna set, this is just like SPM on the software on the phone, on my computer, but I'm gonna start by checking a few things on my end here. So you can do things like system renumber, lines and trunks. That's what I'm going to change, okay? And no, wrong, I did it wrong. Okay, so I gotta go to extensions, okay? So extensions, lines and trunks. Extension number, in this case, this is 0, okay, or 10. It's either 10 or 0. So I can go hit backspace if I screwed up. I think I did. So I'm going to type in 10. Okay, no, that's not 70. I don't have extension 70. Nice try. 10. Okay. And I'm going to hit enter. That's this button right here. I'm trying to show you this button as best I can. So I'm going to hit enter here. And you're going to see that I have it set up for many phone lines, which I don't even have. So I can turn 2 off. I can, like, this one. I was trying to do this with the SPM software on the Windows, and I was having a hard time because I couldn't see the green circles. Now I can see the green circles quite fine. Now, also I can do other banks of jacks. So I can also add extensions back in like that. Okay? So now I can also, let me figure this out here. What I can do with this, I think I can change. Okay, so I'm going to hit exit because that's fine. Just want to set up. And lines, trunks, restrictions, let's see. 10 again. oops, 10, not 70, 1, 0. And I hit enter. Okay. Unrestricted, that's what I want, so that's good. Okay, because this thing can be set up to do different things. Exit. Timer, posted message, system programming, messages. There's also you have on this phone, you have other things as well. The problem is with this one is the fact that it's not backlit. LED's kind of hard to read it. You got your phone directory. You can put your system messages. Like, this is an operator's console, so you can visualize what you can do with this. Okay, you can have... Now, compared to the one from the Merlin II, which is god-awful huge, which I could show you, but it's not something I'd be using for a regular day phone. It's just too clunky. This is pretty nice for what it is. Now, example, let's say now I want to tell the house phone. Okay, 1, yep, 2, yep, 3. You don't have anything that set in the speed calls. I know. You know which number you're on? Which extension number this is? Oh, no. I can find out. Exit programming. So let me hang up here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it again to find out what the extension number is. Let's see, it's 41. Yep, okay, 41. Yep. I said, I'm going to hang that up now. I'm going to test to see if this works. So I'm going to turn the ring around. And I'm going to use the speakerphone because it's easier. Testing. Sounds good. Try lights. Okay, lights work. Okay, so what's the story with this system? Well, the story is that I can have as many friggin' phone numbers as I want. I have provisions for up to 100 extensions on this system. And I do. I have provisions for 54 of them on this system. Okay? And this is the, as I said, this is the operator's console phone. So, yeah, the operator's console phone should be in this room. This is the main room, right? Well, no, actually, the main room is the bedroom, but yeah, it's really likely to be a big deal, I guess. Let's see. Jesus, I hate this camera. Oh, okay. So, there's a software program for this computer to program it too, and the problem is with the software program is it's take it or leave it, I guess. It works, but it's not really like the most popular setup. So let's just put this get it back where it was here. So the these phone systems, Merlin Legend phone systems, were used in many offices. Walmart used to use them. If you ever listen to a Walmart phone, you hear saying like, "Reep beep, reep beep." That's a Merlin Legend phone because that's what this is. Now we're using that in the Walmart. The one in Torrington uses that one. I could demonstrate that ringtone pretty easy. But I think you probably heard it, so you probably don't need to hear it again. So that's the way that works. So we fixed it for now. So the old phone rides for another day. Great, because these phones are $172 refurbished. I'm not going to spend $172 unless I have to. And this thing is... So what does the old console phone look like from the old days of Merlin II? Oh, I know you want to see that, don't you? Oh, yes you do. Yes you do. All right, let me go get it. Because you might be surprised as how big that thing is compared to this phone. That thing is a colossal monstrosity. Let me go get that for you. Okay, this is the old Merlin II system console. And you can see it's much bigger. I couldn't find the other handset to go. This is phones it uses, but the handsets it uses, these are called J-style. And these are kind of supposed to be retro, futuristic, but they weren't liked. People hated them. They liked the G-style. That's these kinds. So they went back to G-style instead of J-style. This can be used with this phone system, but not as a system console phone. This has the template in it. That's the phone line, but it's also is used to program the system controls, features, add, drop calls. This thing makes too much power to be powered off the 48 volts from the controller, so it has a power adapter. The original power, I bought this stuff secondhand, and the original power adapter was missing. So I had to develop my own setup, and so I hardwired into this the power adapter. There is what you're supposed to be able to do, and you can, but I would be careful with this because this is the programming template. There's this is really brittle, and this is extremely rare, and you're not going to find these anywhere. So don't mess with it. This is useless for programming anyway. It also is a phone too. It's a console phone, so it's kind of like this one over there. But you see, they shrink it down a lot. I have fixed this one before, and it's kind of similar in the sense that it has a brightness control up here. You can see that, and it's really, really kind of clunky. It's huge. Originally this was supposed to be held in place with a clip. That broke, so right now I'm holding in place with tape. That's some junk in my fan. Don't worry about that. So that's what this does. This programs the Merlin II. Our phone system started out as a Merlin II, Release 2, and then we upgraded to the Merlin Legend processor, which made this thing absolutely a dinosaur. It doesn't work anymore. I mean, oh yes, it does work for a phone. Yeah, I can plug it in as a phone. I can still make it receive calls with as a phone. But make sure when you use this, you can still use it as a secondary operator's console. Because you can see it's got your busy lamp field here. I'll show you if your lines are in use. And that's what these are about. So these here can be either these can be phone lines, these can be extensions. So by default, these here is like a 34-bit phone right here, which is the phone that I showed you. And then over here we have our additional functions. This can also be used for a hotel as well, to handle like messages and tell you if a room is free or not. It has a couple modes on it, which is kind of cool. This has got a built-in direct station selector, whereas this one, that's a separate box that plugs into the side of this. This is the old AT&T one. This is the Lucent one. And the point is that this thing allows you to control your phones and stuff like that too. So really, this is like a 34-bit with a lot of extra buttons on it. And the screen up here is beat up as it is. This is used to control and program the system. Like you're setting up your extensions, your line, your adjuncts. This uses a menu that's kind of similar to this menu, but it's only like 2 lines, and so it's really easy to get lost unless you keep good mental maps in your head, which most blind people do. Oh, there's Rusty. You can see the old boy cat there, just walking around. Hi, Rusty. You want to say hi to the audience? Yeah, of course you do. So, that's that. That's the programming. Why am I always have a hard time getting my screens center? Oh, this camera is terrible. Oh, especially the screen looks. Well, I am hot. It's hot right now. It's getting warm, but I'm not that red. Trust me. I think it's because you got the low blue light on in the monitor, so it makes you look red. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, that's how that works between these two systems. One more thing. As I said, when AT&T, Avaya, Lucent, whatever, switched to these J-style handsets, they went with using a 3-wire of a 4-wire cord to get power from the speaker for the condenser microphone. And this kind of has resulted in a lot of problems with the system. So they just kind of decided to go back with a 4-wire cord here. There's still 4-wire cord you buy in the store, but you can see the handsets here. So this handset and this handset. So you're probably asking yourself the 1999 question. If you had in a pinch, could you plug this handset into that phone? Yeah, well, it look awfully weird, but I suppose if you were in a pinch, it could be done, but it would look really weird. Unfortunately, for the handset well, this phone, this handset will not fit in that, so that's something to keep about. So now I got a chance to see some of my old telephone archaeology, and I did find another dress I can wear. in my closet when I had to move the blankets off this thing to get this out of the storage. So, yay, I found some clothes. Okay, so, but it's kind of hot though. It would be hot, but yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it fits. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this telephone system archaeology. It's definitely different, and now you can see how it works. And oh yeah, that's another thing too. The lighting is kind of weird in this room right now because it's set for the other camera, not this one. But oh, there you go. That's your phone system. There you can see some of my telephone archaeology, and you saw me debug and decrud the other system. And it's, as I said, the $172 phone, so it was important for this thing. By the way, if you can find one even in this condition, it's going for about $1,000. And this is not even in mint shape, because Merlin II is a very short-lived phone system, and the Merlin processor I have, if someone wants to work on it, fix it, could be a great phone system as well. So, hope you enjoyed what you saw. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.